Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How is Miss Robin?
Good. How are you today?
I'm well, very well, thank you. Just
Excellent.
getting rolling, getting the morning going. How you doing, Mr. Larry?
I am doing okay, sir. Doing okay.
Today is Wednesday. We have a day two of our series De La Objection, and then we have our all partners meeting at 9 o'clock. Looks like it's a stats class. Those are always the best.
Yes, it'll be good to see what that brings.
So, getting a couple seconds for people to log in here. Got Melissa
Yeah, no
coming.
problem.
Good morning, Hope. How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Yeah. Mr. Isaac up in the Phoenix market driving around this morning. Or he's got and Miss Melissa out there in Sahuarita. It's almost like I'm learning where you guys live all over the place. Okay. Yesterday we talked a little bit about objections. The objections of I'm just looking and your own objections of getting a referral. What kind of issue? What kind of topic today would you like on? We can get some scripting around. What objections are you finding out there?
Well, the one that I recently had, I had actually several different potential buyers, but they were convinced that the coronavirus and everything that's going on is going to turn the market south, and therefore they're going to hold up and wait to buy investment properties, thinking they're going to get a deal. Now, there's another angle of that I really can't go into because it's not quite our ethics, but you can, if you think about it, who are the people that are always saying, we want a deal,
Cheap people. They want to buy crap houses.
And they just, they just think that, it's too much. This is too much. We think it's worth this, and it's a 10, 15 grand below what the list price is. And you show them all the data of how the market is operating right now. And they're just like, this, we'll wait. So that was an unfortunate loss of a couple of clients.
Yes, the one thing I'd say is, Mr. Client, whatever they are, tell me what you know about right now.
We got like 2 or 3 people talking.
I'm muted. So, Mr. and Mrs. Client, tell me what you know about market prices right now. And then that's what the ones that are like, I think it's worth 10 times less or $15,000 less, whatever it is. All right, well, tell me what you know about pricing the market in this area. And that's when you'll usually get, well, that's just how I feel. Okay, great. We talked about it before. You really can't overcome feelings because feelings are internal and they don't come from any kind of logic. They're an emotion-based thing. And you can say, well, that's great. Your feeling is the price of your perceived value of the property is $15,000 less. Why is that? Get them to explain to it, and then you'll probably flush out the situation where, well, we're not going to pay list value. And you can tell them right now, and stats class will help you fortify that, where people are buying based on the market. And I believe that the 99.8% of this price is because more people are getting the houses above list and asking for closing costs. So now I have some clients that their culture is 100% negotiation. Everything they do gets negotiated. They negotiate even times they go to bed. And that's just in their blood. So they think everything's a starting point and they go down. They don't realize that oftentimes right now in this market, the starting point, and then you go up. So we just have to, get them to find the logic behind their emotional response, challenge their inert design.
Innate.
It can be mixed with. So that's always difficult. I've always struggled with those kind of clients because I'm the type of person like, you're dumb, just listen to me. You don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes you really have to get them off of that pedestal because you are the market professional. You're the one that's in it every day. Got the proof, You'll still find the clients that'll look at your CMAs and go, no, this doesn't mean anything to me. What do you mean it doesn't mean anything? The value of the house is what others are willing to pay for it. This is what others are willing to pay and have paid. So. Good start. Who was slamming a dryer door? Well, good morning, Emily. Good morning, Mara.
Hey
Teresa
there.
on the call. Morning, Ellen.
I was going to share briefly. Yesterday I got a call from a guy who's like, hey, Mara, I'm ready to chat. And I didn't recognize the name, but it was a guy I met at an open house several months ago. And funny enough, because I kept track of him on command, my last call was like, well, he was a little grumpy today. You know, we have those people that you're like, should I keep talking to this person? So literally like a month ago, I called him and he was got a little bit grumpy. But then he calls me and is like, yeah, I'm thinking of listing my house and I want you to come see it. And so I'm starting to work up some comps and I text him and I'm like, you said there was one right down the street from you and it's not coming up for me. And so he gives me the address and his is 1,600 square feet and this one was 2,000 square feet. I'm like, oh, that's why it didn't come up. Well, he wants his 2-bedroom, 1,600 square foot, of course, to sell for what the 4-bedroom, 2,000 square foot one sold for. So, you know, I ran the comps like you're saying, and it's just, we're going to have that conversation. And anyway, we shall see. But, you know, the point is keep doing your calls because people will eventually call you back. And another lady who hadn't responded since I met her in both last summer texted me about a week ago. I was like, my friend's looking to buy, I'm giving her your name.
Lauren,
And so
what is your
I
responsibility?
texted her again. What was that?
Background.
So I texted her again and said, you know, oh, did your friend find some help? Because I hadn't heard from her yet. And she's like, I don't know, but I'm going to check with her. That's why I recommended you because I followed up with her because I hadn't heard from her friend. So anyway, follow up.
Like we said the other day, I think businesses businesses won in the follow through, follow up, because you're going to, you know, you're going to push past the persistence and you're going to find that one day where they're like, you know what, I'm ready to chat. That's great, Maura. Thank you.
And real quick too, the stats are a good thing to share, at least with professionals. And people who aren't, I shared like a Kelly snapshot with another person, you know, so when you put somebody on one of those, what is it called? When they have tasks. Why can't I think of the word? Anyway, our smart plan. So when they're coming up for me now, I'm like, oh, what do I send them this month? You know, and so we, you know, just command has been great for, you know, thinking of things to send people. And
Well, Larry, it's been a couple of weeks since you got your entire database scrubbed out, cleaned out, and organized. How's it been working for you?
It's been good because I've been able to actually, you know, get organized in calling people, especially, you know, started with the easy ones, of course, the existing clients, but even catching up with them was, you know, was a good exercise, and it really helped because it's easier, obviously, to talk to them because you know them, but you get to practice that scripting. And just kind of talk about most of the calls, of course, are Ford type calls. But again, updating stats, asking if they know of anybody that's looking to buy or sell, and going through the whole thing. And it's also a lot of fun practicing the scripts with relating to them. Talk about the kids, talk about the dogs, talk about the room they were talking about possibly adding on it. Where's all that coming from?
I don't know. I don't see it. No.
Okay. Anyway, so the answer is that it's good. It's, you know, been a while since I was getting into the routine of calls like that out of the database. So progress, if you will. And that's where I am. And once I'm through all the clients now, so the next step is going to be digging into some folks that I haven't talked to or folks that I've met at open houses, and the next step, if you will.
I like it. Yeah, we challenged the PC group. There's a couple of you on the call that are going to go in there and screw about your database. I think Teresa added 100 some people yesterday. So database is all about it. What was that, Mara?
just way to go.
Yeah. Get excited, man. Small victories. Celebrate the small victories. It keeps you motivated. If anyone on this call struggle from ADHD like I do, you have problems with long-term goals. What makes it work is when you have small sets within that long-term goal where you get, wins throughout the process. So you have to learn to celebrate the wins and then rock and roll through it. That's one of the benefits. I've found it to be a benefit in my career because I can't focus. And if I do like something, I hyper focus. So I'm able to bounce back from rejection, but I'm able also to hyper focus in on something I need to do. So I'm getting bit by something that wasn't nice. All right, next objective. We kind of handled I want to offer $10,000 to $15,000 less. And I think we can even extrapolate on that too. Now we got more on the call. One thing I've noticed too is when you have your buyer consultation, it's kind of setting up the initial understanding of the market where it's at price wise helps a little bit. You're still going to find that cultural divide where they push back on whatever it is. I mean, it could be free and they're going to want a discount. And that's just nature. They want to win.
What about the situation when a couple and one is like ready to just get out of that house or to go buy the house and the other one is just not there?
I have that exact situation with one couple.
Really?
How'd it go?
Oh, I'm trying to be the mediator and encourage them both without splitting them apart. I'm trying to bring them both to the table because the last thing you want to do is have a divorce situation over a house.
Yeah.
And you
might
don't
sell
want
two
that on your
houses.
conscience. Yeah. So it's going to take more nurturing and holding hands and trying to calm the wife down while the husband's, procrastinating. And I even have, that's seller's side. I even have a buyer's side. The wife is like chomping at the bit, wanting to go see homes, depending on her husband to get pre-approved. It has literally taken him 2 months. And he's finally got the application into Keller Mortgage, but yet he won't put in his W-2 and his paycheck stubs. I mean, it's just insane. And she's just like, they're losing every house that she's really interested in because it's just going. And so they're getting, at odds with each other. So I'm trying to text him, hey, Mark, Stephanie really wants to see this house. I think you could pop the rest of those documents over to Craig this week. Just trying to nurture and be there and be a referee and coach and counselor. It's really not easy when you have two people that are totally opposites that are married, and it's a challenge.
The one thing I hear from that is we haven't really isolated the motivation of the other party, what the resistance is, what the hesitancy is, what their anchor is, because there's a reason that when you have one party that is rocking and rolling and ready to go and one that's like, I'll get there when I get there. It's because the one that's I'll get there when I get there typically had some kind of attachment to the house or some kind of hesitation in the marketplace or buying something else or has something that we're not being told that is adverse to the situation. And as their advisor, your fiduciary responsibility is to understand the entirety of the situation, not just one person's motivation. You need to understand the whole of the couple, because they're both going to see things differently. You always heard the term happy wife, happy life. Well, it actually goes in the, happy spouse, happy house. Because you will definitely see that the other party can kill a deal without you ever knowing it's going on. Because you'll get to a point where it's like, whoa, I thought we were moving forward. I thought we were getting something going. What happened? And then all of a sudden it's like, I decided not to. So let's have a conversation with Mr. Mr. Hesitancy and find out, hey, I noticed you guys, your W-2s have been kind of delayed. Is there something going on? What's up? Is there something I can help you with? Is there a concern that I haven't addressed?
Yeah,
What-
I have asked him all those questions, and I think in his case, he's a very laid back person, and the very definition of procrastination. Just, yeah, I'm gonna get that. Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna get that. It's just,
Have you ever asked him by when?
yeah. Usually I say, can you do that today? Yeah, can you? Yeah.
Get their buy-in. Hey, Teresa, I completely understand. It'll get done when you get done. When should I expect it to be done?
Okay, that's better than me saying, can you get that over to Craig today? So,
Part of objection handling is getting the buy-in. The buy-in is as simple as getting them to get
mhm.
the solution. If you're always late to work because you're waking up late, I can tell you how to do it. How can you resolve that?
Set your alarm clock earlier. Yes.
Now, if I tell you to set your alarm clock, are you going to do it? Or if you are like, I should set my alarm clock earlier.
Yeah, right. You get them to commit and make that decision. Gotcha.
People won't go against their own character when they make out a call out. So try that.
Okay, thank
And then
you.
when you challenge them on it, usually you'll get a response like, no, I already sent it. I swear I sent it last week. And blah, blah, blah. I had that happen yesterday.
Oh, okay.
That's where you just want to ask them, okay, great, by when? So that's the objection there would be, I'm not getting my paperwork in because it's not a urgency for me. It's urgent for you. It's urgent for the deal. He just doesn't see the fact that his wife's loving the houses and they're like, zoom, zoom. So
Yeah, he's looking at the fact they don't really have to be in a home till December. So it's, to him, it's que sera, sera, we'll find one. Maybe he's just not excited about the one she's looking at. That's the other issue.
ask him.
He wants, well, they're opposites in so many avenues. She wants in a very expensive HOA that has everything you could possibly offer, with a tiny yard with low maintenance. He wants complete opposite. No HOA, out in the country, horses, and it's hard to get both on the same page.
We'll put him out in Marana off of, what is that estates right there? It's Sandario and Ebig down there. They've got acre estates. You can get horses too. It's in a nice HOA. Has nice yards. They're big yards. You can have a horse, but it's an HOA, so gated community.
They're gonna stay in Vale. I did find them the perfect place. Hopefully they'll both like it. The HOA has horse stables and everything, and so I'm hoping.
It sounds like a victory. So yeah, just peel back the onion. Let's find out. Let's find out what the deeper side is. Anyone else have a situation like that where you've got one party that is completely resistant or completely opposite? And how did you handle it? As David Jones would say, this is the interactive part of the call.
How would you handle the sellers that I'm dealing with that are like that, like Tess was describing, completely opposite? He just don't care about moving. She hates the house, wants to move. He wants to stay.
Mr. Seller, you remember that day many, many years ago when you're standing in front of the priest at the altar and you promised to guide, protect, love, and cherish her for the rest of your life and do everything you possibly could to make her happy? What changed?
They're married.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a burn.
No, that's a joke. You
I
need to-
You are almost shameless.
I have to say, I just couldn't do that.
but I haven't done it in house sale yet. That takes knowing your clients real well.
Yeah.
Challenging. It's
See,
happening.
Teresa, that's
Go
where
ahead.
Dan always says, I don't want just one deal, I want all the deals. So he's getting the divorce, but getting the other house. That's where that one was going.
Getting a divorce, getting both sides, helping out the new girlfriend, everything. That's where you're sitting down. Say, okay, listen, I understand, and call them to the carpet on it. Mrs. Seller wants to get rid of this thing as fast as possible, and it seems like you don't. Would you tell me why? What is it about selling this house that has you so reticent? Could you fill me in a little bit on what's going through your mind? Because you might find out something again. It's a motivation.
Mm-hmm.
You may have thought you've had this conversation 100 times, but you may have to ask again. Tell me what's important about not selling the house. Well, what do you mean? Well, it seems like you don't want to sell the house. You've asked me to sell your home. Your wife seems to be on board, you don't. A fiduciary sometimes has to ask a very difficult question. It's not all fun and nice. I've told my sellers, you're being dumb. Stop. You are costing yourself in the long run. Well, I'm not paying for this. Well, yeah, you are. You should have done it 12 years ago. I'm not doing any repairs on this house. Teresa, what's in the background of your house that is so noisy?
Oh, I don't know.
But that being said, you want to make sure that you're flushing out those objections and having real conversations. One seller doesn't want to sell, one seller does. There's clearly a divide, and they're not on the same page, so you will never be able to support them into your best abilities. It's always going to be a struggle. Who's going to pull one side or the other? Like,
Yeah. Thanks.
Could you ask them to make lists of pros and cons, and maybe they could both compare their lists and see if there's more common ground than they thought?
I like that. That's a good idea. It's a great exercise. We did it in middle school when we were having conflicts with each other. So why not do it in adult life?
Right.
Same lessons, different teacher.
I remember in a class that there was an agent that was talking about this very topic, and I remember what I thought was kind of a good idea was kind of this. I don't know if it's a script or not, but it was like they were like 3 weeks into talking about listing the house for sale, and they still hadn't gotten it done. And it was kind of sometimes you have that difficult conversation, and the kind of the script or the line that the agent said that he used to try and bridge this whole thing was saying, okay, we've been discussing this for 3 weeks now. The market is moving along. People are putting other houses for sale, and they're going into contract, and things are moving. And so, we're 3 weeks into this discussion, and we still haven't come to the point of let's get this started. I've been here with you along the whole way. We've discussed all of these things, but we've kind of reached a point where are we moving or not? Are we going to do this deal or not? And he said, just stop right there. Are we going to do this or not? And wait for the responses.
Anyone like that? I don't know, head nods, some head nods. I see some eyebrows like, are we going to do this or not? You've been talking about this forever. There's no more time for thinking. It's time for action. It's time to do.
I know that, part of what in the back of my mind, I guess, is we're driven, or we're being taught, we're being motivated to get out there and grab that sale, grab that, whatever. And the subconscious thing is, oh, well, this could cost me this transaction. But I am so that person. I am so that person and that has worried me, because I'm the kind of person, I'm going to sit down and go, I've been here going through this, blah, blah, blah. I'm at a point where, are we going to do this thing or not? Boom, because I got to move on or get out. And what we used to say is crap or get off the pot. That's it. I cannot be that mollycoddling person. I can't. So
Yeah.
I have been concerned about that.
Well, yeah, and that's a good concern. And quite frankly, there are cases when you have to be ready to walk away.
Yeah.
nobody wants to lose a transaction. We all do as much as we possibly can to bridge the gap and hold it and keep it and move it forward. But every now and then you just have to come to that realization that maybe you're not going to win this one, and maybe it's time to stop wasting your time and find some other people who are truly motivated and ready to go. But yeah, you do it to yourself, you owe it to the client to do everything you possibly can. But every now and then you're going to run into that one situation that's just like, I am beating my head against the wall here. Well, I don't need to end my day all frustrated over someone else's inability to make decision. And have that, again, the statement, if you don't feel that we're going to have this on the market by the end of the week, then maybe let's step back and I'll reconnect with you in 2, 3, 4 weeks when you guys have the chance to talk about this more and work this out, or when you feel you're really ready to go. I have other clients that I need to service. I still want to work with you folks. I think we've got a real opportunity here, but we're not getting anywhere, and business is moving along without us. Kind of something like that.
And once you get to a point in your career where you don't have that commissionitis and you're fearful of losing the only deal you have, you got better energy, where those type of clients, you're okay with like, good luck. Like I don't have time for games. I'm here to do a service. I'm here to do my job. I'm not here to placate you and be your little puppy dog and just show you around houses. So I love that, Larry. So be okay. Bye, Greg. Be okay with saying goodbye. Be okay with saying, guys, when you're ready to make a decision, I'm here to help. I don't want to, and you can put it back on yourself. I don't want to encumber you with my constant questions and communication if you're not in a place to make a decision. So take it away from there. You guys are wasting my time. Oh, if you want to be like, no, guys, I don't want to encumber you with daily questions and inquisitions. I don't want to, over communicate with you when you're not ready to make a decision. When that time comes and you guys are, please let me know. I'm honored to help in any way I can.
So would this be a good time to pass it to somebody else that might have a different type of personality with, or a different type of bonding with that client?
Yeah, there's always going to be different kind of personalities. If you feel like you're not getting anywhere, then yeah. Hand them
I
off.
had that thought come up that maybe as part of the, waiting for them, once you say, are we going forward or not, and waiting for the responses, that maybe one of the responses back after a few minutes would be something along the lines of, is it something that maybe you would feel better with a different agent? Because maybe it is something about me that is just giving them pause and they haven't mentioned it yet.
Yeah, but you're kind of handing them an out,
So,
I mean, unless you truly have come to the realization that maybe that's it, but and then you can certainly refer it out and get a referral fee out of it. But trying to find the bridge to all the issues is really your responsibility to yourself to try and get that. Putting the blame on you for people that are procrastinating is, if you're giving them, you say, well, maybe it's me, not you. And it clearly, if that's not the case, then that I don't think that I'd want to step out for that kind of a reason. Maybe there's a situation where that comes up and it's like, yeah, I'm done. I need to refer this to someone else, or would you like to talk?
Unless the person's absolutely insane, you keep the buyer, you keep the seller, make the money. You change. If your seller buyer is just, unless they're completely crazy, don't give it up. Don't give them an out. They're stuck with you until they figure it out, and you're stuck with them. Come on, make the deal happen. All right, sorry. That was my rant.
I love the conviction. Thank you, Emily.
I mean,
yeah.
if that is something you're concerned about too, if there is a property, you can always just ask somebody, hey, can you go show these people this house and see what kind of vibe the other agent gets just from showing a house too. Not necessary. And then, I mean, worst case scenario, if they show more houses and you're still involved, you can do a 50-50 split. I mean, without having to directly ask the buyer.
Yeah.
Do you want a different agent? Just have somebody can say, hey, can you go show this house for me? And see how they gel and go from there.
A half of something is better than all or nothing. I'm with Emily. Have the conviction, keep your deals, keep your clients, keep rolling with it. I personally, in this situation, think that we didn't do a good enough job in the beginning of the buyer consultation to actually flush out some of these things and have a real relationship with them. We just kind of jumped on the bandwagon, went and showed some houses. All right, my friends, it is 8:30. It is Wednesday. It is a great day in Tucson to be a realtor, and I love being at Keller Williams with all of you. I want you to do something great with your day, and that includes following up with your friends and family. So send them a short video and just, spam the shit out of their Facebook. Just send that same video to everyone.
Well, not only that, Dan, you just made me think of something. If you have some trepidation or some trouble or not real comfortable doing the video thing yet, work it out on your family. They're not going to sit there and go, who the hell is this idiot? Because you feel like you're doing a bad video. You could practice your video. Hey, you tell, send one to a brother, send one to a sister, send, relatives or whatever, but go, I'm practicing this stuff to give me some feedback, but you can always dump it on them and not hurt anything.
Or send one to us.
You can send one to me. I'll tell you all the things you did wrong. I'm just kidding.
You won't be hard on it. No, not at all, Dan.
I'm actually super light. Everyone that sent me a video, I was like, oh man, I love this. That's great. Thank you. Do me a favor here. Get a video out of the way. Take your phone on horizontal like this and record a little video of why you came to Keller Williams or why you chose Keller Williams and send it to me. Because that would help me out in our pursuit of getting some testimonials for our website. But if you guys feel comfortable doing that, do that. I would really appreciate that. If you got an iPhone, just send it. If you don't, send it through Facebook.
Dan, also, just real quick, I don't know if you saw, I dropped in the notes and chat the stats that I shared recently so people can see. It's super easy. You can grab those off MLS. And you can create 4 PDFs, drag them into a sheet, and label them so people can actually read them. I send these to lenders every month, right after they're available, just to keep in front of lenders and say, hey, if you had an orphan client, would love for you to keep me in mind. And so I'll always write back and say, thanks for the stats. So, and if you know other professionals that might be interested in it.
I love it. Miss Mara coming with the goodness. Also, stats today at 9 o'clock. Aaron Wilson, you should have the stats packet in your emails. Tiffany sent those out earlier about 8 o'clock this morning. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I appreciate you all more than you know.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody.
I love seeing you guys develop, so keep on it.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.